Hi, welcome back to my channel, Teatime with Peace and Joy. This is Doris. So today we are going to talk about some thinking patterns that may not be so healthy for us. I don't know how familiar you are with psychology, but I want to talk to you about thinking patterns and distortions that Aaron Beck talked a lot about, and he is a really famous psychologist, and his therapy, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the cognitive therapy, those are really popular, and they were found to be really helpful for people who have for example, anxiety disorders or depression. And even if we don't have those problems, it's still a really good way of looking at or re-examine our way of thinking or our thinking pattern to see if we have this automatic path that will think in that way, which is not the healthiest for our mind. Okay, so let's get started. So the first one is the all or nothing thinking. So sometimes we see people, for example, if a high schooler who's applying for college and they really want to get into UCLA, or they really want to get into Harvard, and they didn't, and they feel like, I'm such a failure, I can't even get into that school, like it's so bad. So that is what we call the all or nothing, right? Because if you look back, no, that doesn't mean that you are a failure. First of all, there are other things in your life, and also there may be other university who had accepted you, and so you shouldn't be feeling like you are a failure. But sometimes if we have that pattern of thinking, that may be all we can focus on is what we didn't get, and I am such a failure. And it's the same thing when people apply for certain jobs, and maybe they eventually get another job offer, but they feel like if they didn't get the one that they really wanted, oh, I'm a failure. I get it, or I'm a failure. So that is the all or nothing. So the second one is catastrophizing. So that is when we see something that is small, but we think of it as so big, and the consequences of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like a lot of things happened already in their mind. So I can give you an example. When I just moved into this house, my husband was thinking like that a lot at that time, and what happened was that we saw a dog poo-poo in our front yard, and he was so worried. He had been worrying for the entire day, and then at night when I talked to him, I'm like, why are you so worried? It's just dog poop, like just clean it and that's all. But he was thinking, oh, okay, because before we moved in, the house was vacant for a while, and so people probably know that there's no one living here, and they probably come here every single day, and the dog is going to poop here from now on every single day, and I have to clean it every single day, and it will be a disaster. But no, right? Because you only see one, and that is your evidence, and just one. Instead of thinking like a million steps ahead of yourself, just see what is really happening. So for all the distort thinking pattern that I talked about today and in the next 2 episodes, we can totally try to re-examine it. So whenever something happened and we feel like we may have reacted, maybe overreacted, or reacted in a way that is not proportional, then we can rethink it. Like, what is really happening there? Do I have any of these patterns that we talked about in this video? You can definitely write it down, and then you can, try to think of it as like a really objectively, as you were a third person looking at the situation, not when you're in there, but as an outsider looking back, and really turn it down to what had really happened. Just that small thing that had to happen. So that is seeing dog poop in the front yard. 1. So so that is the way to go. That is the way for us to stop us thinking this way, because sometimes we do have some thinking pattern that is pretty automatic for us, and that may not be something that is the healthiest. And so we have to re-examine it from time to time to see if we have any type of this thinking. Okay. And number 3 is disqualifying or discounting the positive. So I know a lot of people may have like changes in life, right? So for example, in the past few years, I know a lot of businesses or a lot of jobs had changed a lot. So for example, I know some friends who may not need to go back to the office anymore. They can work from home from now on, or they just get used to working from home and then they have to go back to work, right? So all those changes happen. But if we disqualify all the positive things and we just focus on the negative things, that is really that will really stress us out, and we won't be happy in our life. That is so hard to have joy and peace in your life if you think that way, right? So for example, if you had been working from home and now you have to go back to work. Yes, I know it's hard because it's so easy when you get up. You don't even have to change your lower half of your clothing, right? Even when you have meetings, and you can definitely like just at lunch you can just go grab food and eat and all that. But then if you focus on the positive instead, oh, okay, now I can go back to work. I get to see my colleagues face to face. I can give them hugs, or I can, I don't have to use my own pants anymore, right? I can get some from work and I can use it. So it really depends on what you focus on. And if you always tend to disqualify or discount all the positives, it could be problematic, and you could land in a place where you won't be satisfied no matter where you go in whatever situation. So try to catch yourself on that one. So the last one that we are going to talk about today is emotion reasoning. So when you are trying to reason about it, try to think about what you are explaining the situation, because in every situation it's not just what had happened but also our interpretation of what had happened, right? But if you are using your emotions to do the reasoning, that may not be the best thing. So it's just like, for example, you always hear people say that if you're really upset, don't make any big decisions, right? Because you're using your emotions to make the decision instead. So for example, if you are thinking about, I really don't like what I'm doing now. I'm upset with my boss. I really don't like it. Let me just quit this job. Although there are other things that in your job that you really like, but then because you're using your emotion to reason at this point, and so you're trying to think in that way, and that is not a really reasonable decision, right? So in situations like that, again, like we have to catch ourselves and try to redirect ourselves to see what had really happened, and then to make a better decision. Okay, so today we are just going to share the 4 points, and we will continue in the next video. But at the end, I really want to share with you a Bible verse. It's in Psalm 119, 105. It said, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." And I don't know about you, but sometimes for me, when I'm really upset about certain things, or when I don't know where to turn, sometimes I just open my Bible and I find soothing words in there, and sometimes it's just a click, and then I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I can see in this way instead of that way. So it really helped me. So I hope this verse is useful to you as well. So if you like this type of videos, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Click on the bell so you will get our notification when we upload our next video. And if you find this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, and best of all, share with your friends, or comment below, share with me your experience and how it helped you, if it did or it does. So I will see you next time. Bye.